on the map as well has just really rounded him out as one of just the greatest mid laners of all time. And for Faker, I think people were looking at this matchup as thinking, you know, Faker adds so much to his team, but Chovy is so good individually. But after yesterday, Faker showed a level of laning that completely eclipsed BDD, and he's in such good form right now.
An amazing Azir, honestly, on this side of Faker. And what about the bot lane? Something that we've been always talking about this year, Paze replacing Ruler at the beginning of the year. We knew that there were some heavy expectations on the side of his rookie, but I feel like he's been smashing the expectations that everyone had and upping it even higher here.
Yeah, I mean, to Pace, we can't call him his rookie anymore.
No.
He's an absolutely railroader plus, and he's become a veteran player. And also, he also proved himself that he is really strong at the final. He's actually when in the tournament, it's big. He doesn't really make any mistake. It's like last time they played against the T1 at the final, he was a completely carried the game. He got MVP. Like, you know, there's nothing to talk anymore about him.
I feel like he's been so reliable, but I also think Gumayusi for the side of T1, even when they were struggling, he looked like that member who was still holding such a high level, such a solid form. There are so many games they managed to win because he was putting on that 1v9 performance. And yesterday, he was really the driving force in some of the matches. The fact we saw Carrier moving to Lulu, playing that Enchanter, having faith that Guma could carry, and he certainly did.
And I feel like that's what is interesting, because when we set up the bot lane discussion points yesterday, we've been talking about the Xayah. We also saw Zeri coming back as one of the strongest picks we have in the meta right now. And when it comes to these players, I feel like it's going to be the most contested champions today. And who is the best at maneuvering them?
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole time. We were talking about the Xayah. It's kind of funny that he actually got the Game 5 Xayah and he clutched the game. And all the game, as you mentioned, the Lulu, Enchanter, and the Gumayusi was actually popping off. He was like, nope, I'm not losing today. I'm going final. 100%. That's
Set
what
up
he
the
said.
bot lane can be an option, but we know that all these players can carry if given the right tools to do so. So I want us to take a look at the meta check on the side of T1 first, because we've been talking about Xayah. There's some other champions that I feel like we want to see on the side of T1 and that brought them the success that lead them to finals today.
Yeah, I think at this point, you start to see these picks that feel like it's so hard to play against these teams when they have them. And for T1, I think these picks have been so instrumental for them. I think the Xayah has been such a big pick for Guma. It's made it so hard to play like aggressive die comps into him. But the Poppy as well is another pick that can really counteract a lot of the aggressive supports, things like the Rel, which you've seen in the jungle, things like Rakan. And I think T1 are so fantastic at setting up on an objective, forcing the other team to come into them, and then playing counteractively. And the Aatrox also one that fits into that. If you're diving into an Aatrox, he's going to massacre you.
Yeah, I mean, also Nocturne with the Nico combo yesterday was kind of popping off as well. And for Genji, obviously, we know the Peanut Maokai. It's extreme. He's a special that is like, he's ganking with the Maokai level 3. We're like usually saying Maokai's weak in Ollie. Nope. Peanut say, I'm just gonna gank at level 3. It's not weak. I got the point CC and the pressing R with the controlling object. And as I mentioned it before, the Chovy Yone, I think is really popping off. And also the Poke pick, I think the GP, you guys have to actually watch out, because I think the Doran, it turned around the series when they're actually losing against the T1. He pulled out the game 4. He actually make them the bet at game 5.
I think Zeri as well was something, even back in spring, it was something that Guma wasn't really playing too much and was going to be such a problem if Paze gets his hand on it. The Trist as well, the last series was banned 5 times, I believe. So there's just so many powerful picks that I feel like we might not see a lot of these because they'll just be banned. First rotation, they're so hard to deal with.
Yeah, and we could have coded Poppy also on the side of Peanut. There's a lot of champions that these players have been really good and that brought them the victory in that. I'm really interested in seeing how the draft is going to develop on the side of both these teams, because it's going to come down, I feel, to contesting neutral's objective. And here I feel like both teams have a different approach. When T1 focus more on the top side of the map, Genji more on the bot side of the map. And we know how strong Genji has been in the early game. And T1 has been ramping up in this stage of the game as well.
Yeah, I feel like something for me was the fact that Zeus has really come alive when it has come to the playoffs, and having a strength in the top lane, having someone you can allocate those resources on. He has been such a monster when he's been able to get ahead. But yeah, I think the difference between the Herald and Dragon priority is really going to be something that we'll look for in this game. If you're trying to prioritize Dragons, you really need that strength in the bot lane 2v2. But if you're picking Rakan into like carriers Lulu, you're going to struggle to be able to secure those objectives.
Yeah, I mean, as you guys see, like, it's the meta's obviously is like playing around the object. As you guys see, this is the first team and second team that just how about the soul raid. Even Baron, I think the T1 is like really good at just, they don't hesitate it. Oh, the Baron's up. B for 23 minutes. Let's just hit it.
And that's the thing. Both this team, as we said, know each other really well. So it's really going to come down to execution. I wouldn't believe we're going to see new champions here, especially not on the bot lane. We know that there's a Samira that can arrive on the side of Gumayushi. Pace is really comfortable on any champion that you would put him on. What is going to be the difference maker here in this matchup, Ars?
I feel like a lot of it's going to be how the team set their AD carries up for success, because we're not on MSI meta where you had like Jinx with a bunch of teammates who are just setting you up. Like,
бродяги. Откуда музыка, спрашивают? Из игры под названием Домина. Но нигде ты эту игру больше не найдешь, кроме как на торрентах. Домина. Она есть сейчас только на торрентах, насколько я понимаю. Парабарабам, бум-бум-бум-бум. Парабарабам, бам-бам-бам-бам. Короче, какой план? Все, кто сейчас на Ютубе, на Гудгейме, если кто-то есть, на Твиче, конечно же, все перебегаем на ВК Play. Потому что эфир будет только там. Вот вам всем ссылочка. Последний раз кидаю ссылочку. Туды перебегаем. Эфир будет только там. Там ставьте сердечко, чтобы все увидели, что у меня идет эфир. И будем смотреть чемпионат Кореи. Так, а я тогда вырубаю все остальные стримы. И для вас стрим упадет на долю секунды, а потом сразу включится.